All right, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to talk about how subconscious patterns and trauma cycles continue from generation to generation, how it is passed down through subconscious programming, and what you can do to break the cycle of trauma in your bloodline and heal generational trauma so that you don't pass it on to your children and they don't pass it on to their children, and the cycle can end with you. My name is Gianna Badeau. I'm a coach, certified hypnotherapist, a meditation teacher, and this is a space for you to slow down, tune in, and eliminate the subconscious blocks that are currently holding you back and keeping you stuck so that you can reset, rewire, recalibrate, and show up as your absolute best self in your business, your life, your relationships, literally every area of your mind, body, and life. And if you'd like more support beyond this episode, make sure you grab access to the Rewired app. There's over 30 subconscious activations and self-hypnosis audio recordings to help you stress less and achieve more. And you can also learn more about how to work with me one-on-one in the notes below as well. All right, let's dive in. How to break cycles of generational trauma so that the cycle stops with you. First and foremost, how are trauma cycles created? Well, subconsciously, when you are a child, you are like a subconscious sponge. Your subconscious mind is the most active and suggestible before the age of 7 years old, which means everything that you were shown, told, and saw highly impacts the programming in your subconscious mind, and in fact forms and develops the blueprint in your subconscious mind by which you show up and operate in your world as an adult as you carry through your life. So the programming that you receive as a child becomes the lens by which you see the world, becomes the lens by which you operate in the world, and it determines who you are in a way and how you show up, the actions you take, the way you speak to people, the way you speak to yourself, the actions you don't take, the risks you don't take, the way you believe in yourself or don't believe in yourself. All of the ways that you perceive yourself and the world around you and the people around you is determined by the programming in your subconscious mind. And that programming that you have was heavily influenced when you were a child, which means the adult figures that you had in your life growing up are the ones who are programming your reality for you when you are a child. And if you have children right now, you are programming them and their reality for them right now, unconsciously, without you even realizing it, through the words and actions you take, and without them even realizing it by the way that they are perceiving and taking in the information and the actions that you are doing around them. So when you're a child, like I said, your subconscious mind is a sponge. It is soaking in literally everything. In fact, your subconscious mind is always soaking in everything, all day, every day, even right here, right now as an adult. But when you're a child, your subconscious mind is next level suggestible, which means whatever you insert into the subconscious becomes the programming that you will operate from in your reality. So just by listening to this for a few moments, you can look back at your life and think about some of the things that your parents or the adult figures that were around you growing up said to you, what you saw from them, what you were told, and think about how some of those statements or actions or traumas even that you went through have shaped the way that you operate in your adult life today. We see this a lot with money because the way that you were raised around money determines and develops the belief systems that you have around money today as an adult. If you were told that money doesn't grow on trees, that rich people are bad, that it's really hard to get money, then likely today you still believe that it is hard for you to make money. And you have a scarcity mindset around money. Now, just because you received this programming as a child doesn't mean you need to keep it. You can intentionally choose to rewire it at any point. But it's very important to note that anything you've gone through, any belief system that you were given, that you were told, any trauma you experienced, if you do not heal from it at the subconscious level of your mind, you are going to repeat it. You are going to project it. You are going to pass it on to your own children. And then they are going to pass it on to their children, your grandchildren. So this is how the trauma cycle continues. You need to heal. You don't properly heal. And so you pass that trauma on to your children, and then they pass it on to their children. And this trauma cycle continues from childhood to childhood to childhood until someone in that bloodline chooses to heal. Now, you could choose to be the person in your bloodline that breaks the trauma cycle, that stops it. And when you heal yourself, you heal the next 7 generations in your bloodline. So your healing, it's not just about you. Your healing is about the next generations of you, not even just your kids, their kids, their kids, their kids. It's so much deeper than just about you, because whatever it is that you're going through, you're going to project onto your children, whether you realize it or intend to do it. It naturally happens because we spend so much time with our little ones and they feel our energy. Even when you're trying to hide it, even when you're trying to mask it, they feel that. Your kids feel what you are going through. They feel your energy. They know. Kids are very smart and intuitive. That is one of the greatest gifts of children, of childhood, your intuition. You feel and know things because you're so tapped into feeling, into intuition, that we're not as connected to when we grow up. Because when we grow up, we have stress, we have anxiety, we have things to do. When you're a kid, you're pure subconscious, you're pure intuition, you're pure feelings. Your main goal is to just be safe, is to just feel safe and feel good and feel protected and seek out love from the adult figures around you. And so if love and safety and emotional support is not felt when you are a child, or you feel like the adult around you is going through something heavy and traumatic and that makes you afraid for them, that incites feelings of fear in the body, which programs a child to be fearful, to feel it's not safe in some ways to exist in the world. And so this trauma cycle continues and continues. Now, of course, this trauma cycle can continue in really big traumatic ways or small traumatic ways. Sometimes there's big T trauma, the traumas that you've gone through that are highly impactful, highly big, extremely traumatic. And then there's also little T traumas. And these little T traumas are, for example, love you didn't receive, or something you did not receive as a child that necessarily wasn't like this big life-shattering, earth-shattering event, but it was something that was still impactful for you because you didn't get what you actually needed from the adult figures in your life growing up. So the trauma that moves from generation to generation, it's little T trauma, and it's also what I call the big T traumas. And the little T traumas can sometimes be even more hurtful and impactful on children because you don't realize how bad it's actually affecting them because it's not this big, specific event that they went through. And so it's really important that you check yourself and you take a hard look at, hey, what did I go through as a child? What have I not properly healed from? What do I still have some tension, some anger, some resentment around towards my parents or towards the adult figures that were around me growing up? This work is extremely important to do because without the awareness of what you went through, you're going to pass it on in different ways. It may not be passed on in the same way that it was passed to you. It'll be passed on in a different way. It'll manifest in a different way. But you're still going to pass it on if you don't heal from it. hurt people hurt more people. And I share this in the most loving way. And if you've been through trauma and you have children already, your healing now, no matter how old they are, will support them for the long term. You can break the cycle today and still break it for them today. Just because you already have kids that are beyond the age of 7 years old doesn't mean it's too late. It's always the right time to heal. And through your healing, you're going to inspire them. And you're going to help them grow and develop in ways that you had no idea were even possible for them. So it's never too late to start your healing journey. You can start it today. And this has to be done at the subconscious level, because the trauma and the programming and the belief systems that are manifesting and negatively affecting you today in your adult life are literally hardwired into your subconscious, which is the blueprint of you and everything that you say and do. So to rewire and reset your subconscious, you have to journey into the subconscious. You have to come face to face with whatever that trauma is, whatever that belief system is. You have to gain this deep level of self-awareness around, hey, like, what is going on inside me? What parts of me need my attention? What part of my past needs healing, needs focus, needs my self-love and nurturing? Really getting clear about what that part of you and your life is so that you can gift yourself the healing that you need to break cycles of trauma, to stop passing down these negative patterns, negative habits from generation to generation to generation. Now, like I mentioned, this could be passing down trauma in a really high level. If you grew up around an angry parent or an insensitive parent or an absent parent, there's going to be ways that you are passing that on to your children unconsciously. Or on another level, on a lower level, it may be really poor eating habits. It may be really poor health habits, really poor relationship patterns. If you grew up in a toxic home where the relationship was terrible, or perhaps you had a parent that was currently going through new partners, you may notice that in yourself today, that no matter how many people you date or marry, it never really works out, and it's always toxic and it's always negative. These patterns that you're facing are not a coincidence. These patterns are because of what you've gone through in your life as a child that you don't heal from, that you haven't healed from. And so by healing, you get to live a better life, you get to feel better, you get to be healed, but you also break generational trauma. And it's extremely important to do this before you have children. And like I mentioned, it's important to do it when you have children. If you already have them, the time is now, because your children are watching every single move that you make. When I first got pregnant, I had a conversation with my husband and I said, hey, we've already done so much work on ourselves, the both of us, but we need to take a hard look at what could still be there, because this child, this baby, she is coming into the world and she does not deserve to take on the burdens that we've carried. She didn't ask to be here. We intentionally chose to bring her here. And so it's our job to protect her and to not pass on trauma. And so even though I had already done years and years of healing and therapy and inner work, it was time to actually take a look again and say, okay, what's still there? What could get triggered in parenthood? What could come up for us as parents in our dynamic as husband and wife that we need to settle and bring to the surface right now before she gets here, so that she doesn't have to carry this load. She doesn't need to carry the burden of anything that we went through as children, and she gets to have a healed, happy, supportive parents around her. She gets to feel safe with her mom and dad because we've done the work. And that to me is probably one of my greatest accomplishments in my life. It's healing the traumas that I've gone through so that I'm not passing them down to her, that I'm breaking the cycle out of all the things I've done, all the places I've gone, traveled to, that is my greatest accomplishment in my life. It is breaking cycles of trauma. It is being a healed mom for my daughter. It is being in a healthy, healed relationship with my husband so that we can show our daughter, our family, our future children what it's supposed to be like. And that, to me, again, my greatest accomplishment of all time is having my daughter know that she is safe, that she is loved, and that she doesn't need to carry the burdens of what I've gone through. They were mine and I healed from them, and they're not hers. And she gets to grow up feeling safe, healed, healthy, and supported. And it's never too late. Just because you already had children, like I mentioned, you can still do this work. And so the best way to heal from things that you've gone through as a child, to break cycles of trauma, is inner child healing. Inner child healing is such powerful work. It is the most powerful work to help heal childhood wounds. And you can do inner child healing through hypnotherapy, because your inner child lives in your subconscious. The wounding from your childhood, the memories from your childhood, the traumatic events from your childhood live in your subconscious. So to heal them, we need to uproot those memories and rewire any energetic and emotional effects that are coming from those memories and showing up and manifesting in your adult life today. It's breaking the cycle. It's saying, this stops with me. Hypnotherapy is the most incredible way to do this. And if you know you have deeper rooted healing that needs to be done, of course, you can start with the Rewired audios that I mentioned at the beginning of this episode and start listening to the audios. There's actually an inner child healing audio session that is 30 minutes long. It's extremely transformative, extremely powerful, and beautiful. But if you know that you have deeper rooted traumas and belief systems and experiences that you need to heal from, doing a one-on-one hypnotherapy session is definitely what I highly suggest, because you're going to work with an expert in the subconscious mind who can support and facilitate that healing with you as you journey into some of those deeper parts of yourself, as you come face to face with some of those belief systems that are negative and maybe even traumatic, or events that were highly traumatic for you that you need to heal from, reset and rewire, and bring that inner child within you to the surface. Give that inner child the healing, the wisdom, and the guidance that you needed when you were a child. It's the most healing and beautiful work that you could ever do for yourself. It is the most transformative work that I have ever done on myself, and I highly recommend it for everyone, because everyone has gone through something. And if that something is showing up and manifesting in negative patterns and bad habits, it's time to heal. It's time to get to the root of what that is and set that wounded inner child free once and for all. So this is how the trauma cycle continues. It's not healing from your trauma. It's not facing what you need to face. And when we don't face what we need to face, it blocks your success. It blocks your ability to have healthy relationships. It blocks your ability to be healthy in your body. It blocks you from being able to be the best you in literally every area of your life, especially as a parent, because you're going to pass this on to your children. This manifests in every area of your life, and it can stop with you. You can heal the next 7 generations in your bloodline by doing this deep, deep subconscious healing work, and you're worthy of it. Doesn't matter how many years ago you went through what you went through. It's never too late to face it and to bring it to the surface so that you can be free of it. And hear me when I say this, you deserve to be free of it. And when you are free of it, there is a whole another life and reality waiting for you on the other side, a reality that you couldn't even believe is possible for you. So there are resources and tools to support you on this healing journey in the notes below. And my wish for you is that whatever is under the surface that needs to heal, that you can bring that up, that you can heal it, that you can be free of it. I know what it's like. I've been there. I've done the work, and it's not easy. It's certainly not easy. It's a journey. Sometimes it can feel like it feels worse before it starts to get better. But once you break through to the other side of it, the liberation, the self-liberation that you feel, it's something I can't even put into words. And I want everyone to be able to experience that, especially you watching this, listening to this right now. So check out the resources linked in the notes below. If you have questions, please put them below as well. Here to support as always with whatever you need. Feel free to send me a DM on my Instagram at Gianna Badeau, and make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode along this incredible journey. And I'll see you next time.